Welcome back, everybody. Today's gonna be a little bit different. I'm not gonna be doing a product review or anything. I'm gonna be going over a project that I've been wanting to do for a while, and now I've finally gotten to the point where I can start doing it. So that's what I'm gonna talk about and how you can get involved with the project. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, so this project that I'm working on is something that I came up with a while ago, and to give you a little bit of backstory of how it started when I watched the movie Coco. So as weird as that is. So if you haven't seen the movie Coco, this is kind of a spoiler, and I apologize for that for one part of it, but in one part he's talking to an old spirit that is being forgotten in the movie, and when you're forgotten by anybody who's alive, you cease to exist. And for some reason that hit me really hard and freaking terrified me that, like, what if that's how it actually is, you know? And so I came up with this idea that I want to do mini short life stories for people and get it out there on YouTube. I want people to be able to share their stories. I want anybody to be able to share their story that wants to do it. And that's where the Meet project kind of came to life. The reason I'm calling it the Meet project is because each title is going to be Meet and then the person's name. So it just made sense. So it's Meet, M-E-E-T, not M-E-A-T. So nothing to do with steak or anything like that. But yeah, so I got the overview and outline and everything, and I'm just going to kind of go over what the project is and how you can get involved and how I'm planning on funding it and all of that. So we'll see how this goes. So the goal and objective of the Meet project is to record and share short 15 to 20 minute life stories. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to just show the diversity in people. There are a lot of people out there that are just everyday average people. You know, they're not creating some super drug, they're not creating some new app, they're not creating something, but they have a story. And there's a lot of really cool stories that may never get out there just because what they've accomplished isn't media worthy, I guess you could say, but it's still a freaking cool story. So I have a studio in downtown where I live, and I interact with people constantly and I hear their stories, and it's so freaking cool. Like, I met a couple that might actually get involved with this that told me that they met because they used to do stage fighting at Renaissance festivals. And I was like, okay, that's a cool story. And then they were telling me all these other stories, and I was like, man, you guys need to get this story out there because it's freaking cool. And it shows people, you know, that anything can happen anytime, anywhere. Like, yeah, I mean, you're beating the crap out of each other on stage, and then you fall in love. Like, what is that? But it's worth sharing. So yeah, the goal is to do life stories and then post them on YouTube, and then eventually Patreon and Substack if it gets to that point. So the core activity of the project involves setting up participants in a confessional style video, basically like in reality TV when they go in and they sit and they're like curtain in the background or whatever, and they're talking about the drama that so-and-so started, kind of like that. So super simple background, them, camera, talking about their life, just super straightforward. Eventually, if I can, I would like to have them send me like pictures and stuff to go along with the stories they're telling. But for now, I want to keep it as simple as possible and kind of work out the kinks. And so this is going to evolve over time, which is really cool to me. They'll share their stories. They're going to have the option of me being there and kind of leading it, or I have a questionnaire that they can do it without me there, because I know sometimes it's really hard to tell your story if somebody is watching you, and it's a lot easier to tell it to a camera and everything. So I want to give them an option to do it however they feel comfortable. But it's designed to encourage authenticity and honesty, allowing the essence of each individual story to be captured effectively on video. So that's kind of the goal. I want them to feel comfortable doing it and recording it. So the recordings for now are going to be walk-ins on Wednesday, 10 to 5. That's when I'm in my studio every Wednesday, 10 to 5. And so that allows me to be there, have everything set up. Somebody walks in, I set them down, they're able to record. and then I'll also do appointments. For now, the walk-in and appointments at my studio is the best way to do it, but eventually, if I can get funding for this project, I will come to different places. So, I'll go to different cities or whatever and set up for a weekend, or, go to a park, or go somewhere like safe for me and my camera equipment and whoever else is helping me with the project. But for now, it's going to be walk-in an appointment at my studio. And I might try to figure out a way to do it online, but online is really hard because you end up with kind of bad video and bad audio, because it would have to be over like a Skype call. So I would like to avoid that if I can, but at the same time, I want to figure out an option for if people want to do that, just because I want it to be as broad as possible for anybody who wants to do it. The platforms that it'll be shared on is YouTube to start. And then if YouTube goes well, Patreon and Substack. Patreon and Substack will probably be longer, more unedited videos and other things to go along with them, because those are subscription based. And so the reason I want to do Patreon and Substack is because I want some incentive for people to, subscribe and get more out of the videos and whatever else, but it also help fund the videos. So the expected outcome of this project is a growing collection of life stories, each unique and deeply personal. So I really want people to just get their story out there. And then also increased visibility and appreciation of the diverse human experience. So I want as much diversity as possible. I don't just want wealthy business owners to do this. I want people who are struggling. I want veterans. I want, homeless people. I want drug addicts. I want anybody who wants to get involved with this and tell their story. I want them to be able to tell their story. I'm hoping that by doing this, we can kind of help eliminate some of the stigmas behind, some of the less fortunate people. Everybody has a story to tell, and I think everybody should be treated equally when they want to tell that story. Also, I want to just create kind of an online community around storytelling. Like, there's a lot of people that do stuff like this. Like, this isn't anything original or anything, but it's just something that I want to do. I want to learn more about people, and I want to, just get their stories out there and get people talking. The biggest challenge of this is going to be funding and finding participants. So that's why I'm creating the YouTube video, is to get this out there so that I can not only find funding, but I can also find participants for this. I want to release a new video every week. If I can get enough participants, I will release as many videos as I can. Probably maximum 3 a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That way it gives me editing time and breathing time. But to start, I want 1 a week, so 4 a month, which isn't bad. The Meat Project is rooted in the belief that everyone has a story worth sharing. By documenting these stories and making them accessible to the world, the project aspires to celebrate the richness of human experience and foster a deeper understanding among people everywhere, which is basically what I just said, but this is just a fancier way of saying it. So now we're almost done. The Meat Project is designed to be financially sustainable through the use of advertisements, subscriptions, and crowdfunding. And so by leveraging ad revenue, subscriptions, and crowdfunding, the project is going to be free. I want it to be 100% free to whoever wants to participate. I don't want people to have to pay to get their story out there. I want them to be able to just walk in, tell their story, and leave. I don't want there to be any sort of financial pressure or anything on them, because I think that kind of eliminates the purpose of doing this. And so that's where you guys come in. So you can get involved in a bunch of different ways. You can come tell your story, or I'm going to start a GoFundMe, and you can donate or share that. Share these videos, subscribe, and I'll try to get monetized through YouTube. And then eventually, once I get the Patreon and Substack set up, if you want to get more behind the scenes footage and more, just more content, subscribe to one of those. So I'm going to put links down below for the GoFundMe and all of that stuff. But let's use social media to our advantage so that this project can remain free, because I don't ever want to charge for it, and I'm not going to ever charge for it. So this is kind of my call to arms to you guys to help me get this going. So the revenue projections for this, and this is the last bit of business, is YouTube ad revenues, crowdfunding through GoFundMe, sponsorships and partnerships, grant funding, which is really cool because I never thought of grant funding, and then I found out that there actually is some for stuff like this, and then Patreon and Substack. So I want to grow this into something awesome. So a little bit of background on me and why I want to do this. I'm a film student, and I'm going to graduate in April, and I really want to do documentaries. That's like my passion, and I want to do meaningful, short movies and everything that have some sort of message behind them. And so this, to me, is basically the start of doing the documentaries and stuff. Like, this is the basis for documentaries, is interviewing people, telling stories, and creating something epic. So starting out, this might be a little rough, but as long as I can get the stories across in a way that is worth watching, and that's why I'm doing 15, 20 minutes for YouTube, because I think anything over that, and it may get a little boring. But yeah, I just want to get the stories out there. And then after this one, if it does well enough, I want to do another series that is couples, and I want them to tell the story of how they met. I think it'd be really cool to go through and collect as many like love stories as I possibly can and get those out there too, just because, I don't know, I think that stuff like that can either be discouraging or can give people hope. And so I'm kind of hoping for the second one, that, you know, maybe there's somebody out there that's super lonely that wants to give up and realizes that it's possible for them to find somebody and be happy. They're just looking in the wrong place or something. I don't know. I want to make as many videos that positively impact people as possible, because let's be honest, the world kind of sucks nowadays, and there's way more negativity than positivity, and I would like to change that. So that is the upcoming Meat project, and this is a project that if it goes well, it's going to keep going forever. I'm going to keep doing it. I just, you know, we got endless numbers of people. As long as people keep participating, I will keep making them. But yeah, so if you want to get involved, if you want to tell your story, feel free to reach out and we can figure out how you can tell the story. If you want to donate, there will be a GoFundMe link down below. If you want to subscribe to Patreon or Substack, I will announce those when those are ready to go. Or if the links are down below, then that means they're ready to go. If not, just like, share, comment, do all that. Let's use the algorithm to our favor and get YouTube to freaking pay me, you know? So that is it for this video. As always, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the love and support. And this is a project that I'm really looking forward to. So any support that you guys can give, even if it's just liking the video, I would greatly appreciate it, because I really want to do something with this. And so with that, I will catch you guys on the next one.